Test, test.
Loud and clear.
Sounds clearer than last time.
The only thing I'm seeing on this is that if the battery, we still having alternator problems sporadically.
Okay.
And if it starts to run the battery down, this gets scratchy.
Okay.
As long as it's charging or charged up, it's clear.
So what are we going to do about the alternator?
Don't I look like I'm already missing enough hair? I have no idea.
Okay.
I mean, I bought another brand new one, but the one that's on here is only a year and a half old, 300, 400 hours on it.
All right.
And those things ought to last 2,000, 3,000 hours. It's got a fairly new voltage regulator, about the same age, and it's electronic. It's one of the top brands. And they rewired it. All the connections are tight.
Okay.
I replaced the circuit breaker. I am at a friggin' loss as to what's causing it.
Okay. Well,
now, the outside chance is the diode package on the back of the alternator could be messed up. So if it gets too hot, it could create a problem.
okay.
And it could be in the voltage regulator. The main body of the alternator is working or it wouldn't come back. And if it goes to discharging, you can usually park the plane for 10, 15 minutes and it'll come back up and work.
Okay.
But up till now, I haven't been able to reset it in flight.
Okay. All right. So the key takeaway is to keep looking at that and make sure that it's right.
It's generally worked fine for about an hour.
Okay.
Somewhere around an hour, if it's going to go out, that's when it usually starts to
There's nothing we can do to make it work once it goes out.
So far, recycle. The thing that would seem to make sense is you would cut the radios off and recycle the master switch.
In flight.
In flight, because the master switch is what reset. You don't even have to do the whole thing. You could just do the generator side of it.
Okay. And would you?
Is what resets the
Have you done
field.
it? And it worked? Oh, okay. Never mind. All right.
I keep bumming my head on the wall saying, it's going to feel better in a while.
Celsius. Dew point -3. Altimeter 3017. Carson County Airport. Automated weather observation 1759er. Zulu weather. Wind 210 at 10. Visibility 10. Clear below 12,000. Temperature 12 Celsius. Dew point -3. Altimeter 3017.
Okay. Looks like we're looking at 24.
Okay.
It's pretty straight down.
Carson County
Little cross, but not much. I
1759er.
think I said 220.
Zulu weather. Wind 210.
210.
10. Visibility
Yeah.
10.
No big deal.
Clear below.
All right. And nothing needs to be connected down below on this
Correct.
one.
On this one,
It
that's
just
correct.
connects. So,
If I'd known I could have done it for the other one, we'd have done it.
so it says not connected still.
All right, so if it says that, then cut it off,
Okay.
back on, and then hit it again. And why it isn't working, I don't know. Because it's showing that it's found the box, and if the box wasn't on at all, it wouldn't find it, but usually it won't sit there and connect on its own. And for some reason, once that little blue circle deal goes out, you now are stuck again. And I don't know why that is the case.
Is it possible that that button is just broken since it shows that?
Well, no, I don't think so, because it lights up like it's working.
Well,
And the Bluetooth's the only thing that's not working about it. So the Bluetooth's working, it's hunting. It knows the box is there. And it actually should connect automatically.
Did it work when you went to
Worked last time
Boston?
I flew it.
South Boston? So just let it be?
Yeah, we'll do something else for a little while and let it kind of think a bit.
It's showing.
Yeah, it shows us. The GPS part works. It's
Okay.
the traffic that isn't working.
Okay. Well, we're not going to go too far from here probably, right? All right, we're going to go down to our run-up.
Also, we replaced the center console.
This?
Yep.
Okay.
The other one had a chunk broken out of the corner.
I don't remember that, but I haven't
Well,
flown.
good. I'm glad you don't
I
remember
haven't
my
flown.
junk.
Well, I mean, I haven't flown this one that much.
So anyway, this is kind of rubbing at the top, which helps you from it not moving.
Okay.
But at the same token, it's got to feel like a little catch to it when you move it.
Okay.
The only problem with getting rid of that is I have to trim where it's going to get pretty thin up here.
I also don't see where the...
Well, it's like I said, we just put it on there. If this red is about halfway.
That's middle.
That's middle. Not sure what that white is. Probably is not going to be perfect, but
That's fine.
we'll work with it as we can.
Okay.
And go back and do that first one again.
That's the first one.
Right.
That's both. Not enough of a drop?
No, I thought it felt a tiny bit rough, but
Okay.
yeah, you don't need to leave it out. You're not gaining anything. If you pull it and it drops, that's all you're looking for.
Right.
Because that means hot air is going in. It's probably a little too rich.
Okay. Should I put... I know
I run 4 switches up
These
all
four?
the time.
These
Yeah,
4?
Those 4.
Okay. And that nav light,
At night.
that's the big one?
That's the wingtips and the little white one on the tail.
Okay. All right. Cabin doors closed. Seatbelts on.
Up.
Got it.
Help if I tightened it up a little bit, but.
And this is the button. Gotta get used to that. That's probably. That's good. All right. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is taking off, runway 24, Person County. Turn north?
Yeah, it'll be fine. I generally go straight out to about 1600 before
Okay.
I turn.
Okay.
If you turn early, possibly you could be turning into somebody on base left.
You're right, because it's left pattern.
Yep. But if you go on out to 1600, where we normally turn base
Right.
is right in here.
Okay.
So if we go on out a little bit past that, then turn, you'd probably be fine.
Okay.
And then you can flip the bottom radio to get 10-4 on. Keep climbing, of course.
This one here?
Yep. Keep climbing up to about 3,000. And of course, look around a lot, not just over your nose.
A little bumpy up here, huh?
A little bit. So keep climbing. You aren't climbing. You're going level off. You don't want to run wide open because it's hard on the motor.
You're right.
All right, turn left to heading 300.
Okay.
Right, I'm sorry, right to 300.
Okay.
And level at 3,000. Yeah, you quit climbing again. You're just totally level right now.
Whoa! That was a wild thing.
And then trim it when you're ready so that you aren't fighting it any more than you have to because of the bumps.
With traffic source 818 Delta Romeo at 1,900 departing to the south. Blue Ridge.
So that's disappointing.
What?
It still can't hook it up. All right, so now what we want to do is go directly to South Boston VOR.
Is that it?
That's it, 10-4.
Okay.
The first thing, are you going to or from?
I'm going to.
All right, so that's
It says
number
to.
one. Next thing is to center the needle without letting it go the other way.
Ooh.
Without letting it go to from. As scan as you're doing it, you got to be able to fly the plane and fix stuff. Flying is always your number one priority. Fixing is number two. So if you have to stop working on something in order to fly, that's perfectly fine. Good.
Is that close?
That's pretty close.
Do I need to move just a little bit more?
Yeah, you can try. It's wobbling back and forth, and that's the nature of VORs. And in fact, the head may not be perfectly done, but it's better than it was with the old radio.
Okay.
So now what are you going to do?
I think because it's centered, the heading that I should follow is the heading up there,
Very good.
which is just under, just like 4 or 5.
Okay.
I mean 2 or 3. It's between 2. It's between 0 and, it's like 2,
All right.
basically, right?
It works for me.
So I need to go here and change it to 2.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
You can spin this around in circles for an hour and it isn't going to change anything.
No.
Up here doesn't change anything.
You're right. So,
In fact, you can't even set that one.
so what am I missing?
Well, where are we headed with the airplane?
284. Up here.
So where do you want to go?
I want to go to, I want to turn to go to,
You have my permission. What you're missing is the connection between it telling you what you need to do to get there and what you're actually doing.
Okay.
They're two totally different things.
okay.
It's the reason when you're doing the test that you don't connect these two, because that one doesn't tell you
You're right.
where. This one tells you where you are or how to get there, one of the two. That one just tells you where you're going, has no reference to this one.
Okay.
So now we've flown through the course. It's like we pulled out in the highway and we didn't turn. Now we're over in the other lane.
How did
So we now got to turn back more to get the needle to come back in. So the starting point is 020. Now, that doesn't take into account the wind. I have no idea what the wind's doing up here.
Okay.
The other thing is you're 300 feet lower than we had just thought we were going to fly at. And remember, on your check ride, if you tell him you're going to be at 3,000, check ride says plus or minus 100 feet. If you get off more than that because you got distracted, catch it and immediately start to correct it, unless it's just a constant thing, he's not going to probably do much more. He may not even say anything, but he might. But he's not going to bust you unless every time he looks around, you're off 200 or 300 feet.
Okay.
As long as you're diligent about trying to be on your altitude, he'll give you a little bit of leeway.
Okay.
And hence, part of the reason for the need to trim is so important is so that when you are distracted, you don't inadvertently go up or down.
Yeah, I thought I trimmed it enough. So my needle hasn't moved and I'm allegedly...
All right, so now you're parallel to it. So the highway is back this way.
Right.
So not knowing exactly how far away we are, I might try a 30-degree correction.
That way.
Right, that way. That would be correct. It's not totally pegged out. It's not centered, but it's not pegged out. So I turn about 30 degrees into the needle, towards the needle, and wait. Give it a couple of minutes, see what happens.
Okay.
Now, the reason you don't turn 90 would work, but it's like a snake on a hot road. Now, all you want to do is drift back into your lane. You don't want to turn and go back across the highway again. So 60 is more than enough, unless the winds are just absolutely howling.
Okay.
So now we wait for the needle to come back towards us.
Okay. Well, it's pretty much all the way.
Yeah, but give it time.
Okay.
If you ignore it, it's like a woman. You ignore it long enough, she's going to go shopping.
I don't know where you get this stuff. Oh, God.
Just think, I get to ride this all the way to Florida and back tonight.
And where are you going?
Fort Lauderdale.
Which plane?
The
The jet?
No,
No?
that was my answer. What do you mean I'm not taking the jet? Because they aren't paying us to take the jet.
So what are you taking?
Barron,
What?
58 Barron.
Ah. I'm sorry.
Me too, but hey, they paid me. All right, so it's almost centered. So now what you gonna do? You're back crossing the highway again, back in your lane.
I'm on course now.
Almost. Are you gonna stay on course? Exactly.
Correct a little bit the other way.
So I would go back to your starting point of 020 or 015 and check when you roll out, check your compass and your DG.
Okay.
Standard rate turn, because the longer it takes you to come around, the more you're likely to go off in the ditch on the other side of the road.
Which is what's happening.
Well, then turn. 015, turn. Left turn.
Well,
015.
it was going this way now.
Because you're going that way. It's saying go here. The highway is right there.
Okay.
You're going this way.
All right.
We were going this way.
I know, but you have to understand VORs are kind of new to me.
Well, and they're not the easiest animal in the world to tame either. So again, this one's telling you what you need to do. If you're dead on it, the needle is centered. It wobbles a little bit, so don't get too caught up in chasing it unless it goes out and stays out.
Okay.
But it's telling you that the highway is 016 or whatever it is, and the more you ignore that, the more you're going to run into the ditches on both sides of the road.
Okay.
However, just because you turn to 16, if this isn't set right, and sometimes it gets off because we keep turning, then, and the wind may be blowing us this way, on top of all that, this could be off a little bit. And you just have to keep, you know, twiddling at it until you find a number that will hold it pretty still.
Okay.
And it may take several tries. So the starting point is to try to get on course, hold the heading, and see what happens.
Okay.
And then after you've done that for about 2 or 3 minutes, depending on how fast the needle is moving, is one of the indicators. If it's moving very slowly, you're almost dead on it. If it's going zing, then you obviously are going across the road and not down the highway. But it's, you know, you're right, it's new and it's not overly user-friendly. Whereas the GPS just shows you the line, says, stay on me, baby, and you got it.
It's almost dead on. There's more snow out here.
So there's the line you want to follow.
Where's my plane?
Good question.
There it is. Okay. So I'm going this way.
Hey, this is something about, well, you're sitting on due north now. So that's about where you're pointed here, due north.
But,
and so if you stay on due north, you're going to gradually run in the ditch again.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's still wobbling more than it ought to. We may end up having to replace that as well.
First County traffic, Mitsubishi 325 Mike Alpha, about 12 miles out to the northeast, northwest, setting up for runway 24, any traffic advised, First County.
Doing 132 knots over the ground. 182 speed.
That's because the wind's behind me.
Exactly.
It's southwest or southeast wind. Well, must be southwest because it's 2-4.
And First County traffic, Mitsubishi 5 Mike Alpha, 7 miles to the northwest, going to fly the field, enter left downwind, 24, First County.
Are we going to South Boston?
The VOR.
No, but I mean, are we going to go to the airport?
If you want to, we could go there and do a landing.
I don't want to go there. I mean,
right.
unless you want me to.
No, I'm fine. So, see all these green fields? There's one big green field just in front of you, and then it's woods after that.
Yeah.
See that white thing sticking out in the middle of that green field?
That's it.
That's the VOR.
Whose property is that?
I have no idea.
Is it like a cell tower they can rent the space?
Probably, but I have no idea.
So now that I know where it is, I just need to point to it.
Well, that
cheating?
won't work because the wind's blowing you. So you turn the airplane, look at what happened here.
Oh, yeah.
We're now tracking 10 degrees off course.
All right.
And that is the quote-unquote wind correction angle.
It's a lot windier up here than we thought.
2,500, and left downwind 24.
So when we cross over top of it, what's going to happen?
It's going to say from. It's going to say FR.
Okay. And depending on how dead over top of it you go, sometimes it'll just flip. But if you're off to the side just a little bit, you get that, what they call that cone of confusion, which means dead over top of it. This doesn't know whether you're going to coming or going.
I live in that cone of confusion sometimes.
Me too. More often than I like to admit to.
That's the first time I've ever seen a VOR from the air.
Yep, that's what it looks like. Looks like a dunce cap.
Interesting.
Big round dish with a pointed cone in the middle.
I mean, I've seen it on videos, you know, and I've just never been close to one to see it that much. Well, can't you fly a little bit higher with the Baron that you're flying?
We go, I mean, yeah.
So you're not going to hit that much turbulence, probably.
Well, you do hunt for the altitudes where, you know, you try to find an altitude of, usually there's a haze layer.
Is that the cone of confusion?
That's all. Yep, dead over it, or off to the side ever so slightly.
County call Mike Alpha left base.
And that's from.
Yep.
And then if you, looks like you've turned about 10 degrees again, or 8 or something. But if you give it a couple of 3 minutes and it still hadn't come back in, then you need to go after it again.
Okay.
Or a couple of minutes maybe.
First County 5 Mike Alpha on final 24 person.
All right, so now let's turn in one Danville VOR, which is 13-1.
I'm supposed to be here, right?
Remember, you can't change the yellow. You change the red.
So this is what I do?
No. So you now got to put the knobs to the bottom. That's the center button here, NC.
There you go.
Now you can change the red on the bottom.
And what's the number again?
113.1. All right, take me to Danville.
All right, wait a minute.
To or from? Now, first question, to or from?
From. I'm going to, but it's
No.
showing from.
You are, and that's because?
It's behind me.
No. So what happens is if you continue to fly this course and don't change anything, you're going further away from the VOR.
Okay.
And it's off to your left
And I know
So-
that because of this.
because of that.
So I just need to turn.
Well, yeah, but you want to go to the VOR, correct?
Right, so I got to wait till it flips.
No, because it may never flip.
Okay.
That's what the big knob is for you to be in control. All right, so you got a 2.
Now I'm just waiting for it to go.
It won't go, it may
Until I
never go. It's up to you.
To turn.
No, it's up to you to change to figure out what it is. before you turn. Now, the truth is you could turn because you know it's going to be in that direction. But you can also just go ahead and get it all centered up. So 2, and you ever take about 2-4?
Yeah, it looks like
So now what you going to do?
Turn.
Good.
2-4.
That is correct. Yeah, that's moving way more than it ought to, so we're either going to have to find somebody who'll overhaul it or exchange it or something.
Maybe they can do that when they first work on the alternator.
All it takes is money. We've only dropped, I don't know, 60,000 into the 2 planes this year, more than we've made. I shouldn't say that. That's not accurate. We've jumped about 40,000 more into the 2 planes than we've made.
By the way, what's up with the parts for the other one?
Nobody has cylinders. There are 3 companies that make cylinders, and there's none available.
It's indefinite? Like, they
No, they'll eventually make them, or maybe they're making a few and shipping them. They'll eventually catch up, I hope. Or, you know, our guy will get to the point he's number 1 on the list or something. So now what's the needle telling you?
it's coming back.
Kind of wobbling. And the ground speed went to 80.
Wow, yeah.
A little better than a Cub, but not a whole lot.
Blue Ridge traffic, Cherokee 13 Romeo is departing the area to the south. Final call for Blue Ridge.
So how come all of a sudden you're going to Florida?
All in COVID test. Go down to Fort Lauderdale, pick up an airplane load, fly them to Richmond.
Same company?
Different company.
Oh. What's the name of this one?
I actually don't know who the lab is.
So when this goes this way,
Then you turn towards it.
I'm going too much that way. So I need to go this way.
That's correct. You turn towards the line. Think of the line as a highway. And, you know, on any highway, you got 2 choices. You can go left or right. So here, you get to choose the highway. So I get to choose what it is I want to follow, instead of just having an arbitrary choice of turn left or turn right. But once I choose that and I'm flying along, now the arrow is like following the line, the course needle is like following the highway, except that if I don't pay attention, I may run in a ditch. Well, obviously there's no ditches here, but it also means we aren't going to get there. So it goes sliding by it to the side. And if it gets all the way out and stays out, that means we've probably gotten on course pretty big. So the way to fix it is to turn more and wait for it to come back, or to recenter. Now, if he says track the needle, recentering it is not your option. Your option is to turn the airplane.
Okay.
So let's try about a 30-degree cut on it. Okay, roll out. Good. Now wait.
There we go. It's worked. It's still a little wobbly though, huh?
It is very wobbly. They all wobble a little bit. This one's wobbling more than it ought to.
69012, passing north of
And
the
you think
field
that
from the
it's
west,
the wind?
heading east at 3,300. Davidson traffic.
So I need to ask a couple questions. It's still saying that I should be a little bit below 24.
But that's something you set.
So I can change it now
You could change it,
to reset it?
to reset it.
So as I turn it, it's going to go back to the center.
But don't get in the habit of doing that every 10 minutes to keep the line centered.
Okay.
You want to fly the airplane to keep the line centered.
Okay.
Otherwise, all you're doing is flying a fish hook. The wind is drifting you off, and you keep turning and turning and turning and resetting the course until you've made a hook, as opposed to correcting and tracking. And then if it appears that it's gradually moving out to the right again, now you again have to turn towards the needle. Now if it's wobbling, you'll run yourself ragged trying to stay on top of it.
Okay.
You basically set a number in your head, diligently fly that number until you see a reason to change it. So now you just change where you thought the plane was going by 30 degrees, so now you need to come back over to 240 or something closer to it.
But it seems to be hanging out.
Well, and it does, but remember it doesn't change quickly.
Okay.
Because where we're going is over there about 12, 14 miles. You're flying into a wedge. So the further away you are, the wider the course is. At 54 miles, the course will show you fully deflected at 4 miles wide. Whereas if we're 5 miles away, fully deflected is probably less than a mile wide. Now, it's still going that way, okay? So that means we've got to correct for wind even more.
Okay.
All right. So I want to go back to Want to go back to South Boston VOR.
Which is this one.
Correct.
So I flip-flop.
Correct.
Runway 83.
Good. There you go. Very nice.
I'm getting the hang of this.
If you look way out there, you can see the VOR again. You're headed dead towards it. Big open field, the white thing in the middle of it.
Something got really loud. How do we turn the volume down for us?
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's good. So it's on that grassy.
Yeah.
It's like woods and then grass.
Yep.
Yep, I see it. How did this change?
I don't know. Maybe I moved my mic closer to my mouth or something.
No, I'm louder too. You might have to get this replaced too.
The door's that way.
I know. Yeah, I'm not going to make any more jokes like that. It's not good.
Demo traffic, November 412 Delta, departing the pattern to the northwest. Demo traffic.
We're back to 134. It seems like this altitude is not as bumpy as it was getting to this altitude.
Okay, so when you cross the VOR, Person County is about 180 degrees, about due south from this VOR. Not going to be dead on, but it's pretty close.
Okay.
So if you want to track down to Person County, once you cross the VOR, what are you going to do?
Once I cross over, there's no VOR at Person County, but all I would have to do is look at my...
You're thinking too hard.
Okay.
Got a VOR in front of you.
Oh, snap. I would just turn around and make sure that it's still from.
No.
Okay.
If you cross the VOR and the heading to get to the airport is 180,
then it needs to be 2, but it needs to be after I turn.
to what?
So if I cross it over, it's going to flip to from.
Correct.
And if I need to go to Person County and I know that it's 180 degrees.
It's not behind you. You're headed 60. Person County is due south.
Okay. And I'm heading almost north.
Almost
north, yeah. You're right.
Northeast.
Right. So it would be 180 degrees.
So how are you going to find it? Suppose the visibility was 3 miles and you aren't used to the area. You have a nav aid right in front of you.
If I turn this to 180
Good.
on here,
Good.
which is
Do it dead on. Don't go halfway.
Okay.
All right, so the airport is 180 degrees from the VOR.
Right.
We just crossed over because it's flipping.
Right.
So now what you gonna do?
I'm going to turn around.
So what heading? What heading you gonna fly the airplane?
To a heading that has this come to the middle.
What is that heading?
Well, it's 180.
Well, okay.
But
So turn. You already passed it.
all right, I thought you wanted me to talk about this.
I do. I want you to use that.
Okay.
What I want you to do is use that to find Person County Airport.
Okay.
So now you would not necessarily know it was due south without looking at a map. If you had pulled the map out, which I don't think we haven't, used to have one in the plane. I tried to keep one in the plane. And we looked at that map, and we found the South Boston VOR, okay?
Right.
I can go to the VOR. Once I'm on top of it, I know where I am. Now I have to use that information to figure out how to get where I want to go. And where I want to go is due south.
Right.
So now I want to track due south. So if I'm not tracking due south, I don't want to spin this because that's going to mess up what I told it I wanted to do. So we also know that the wind is coming out of the southwest.
Right.
Blowing us to the northeast.
Yeah.
Okay? So the VOR that you were following is right there.
I see it.
So we're only a mile, 2 miles east of it.
And that's why it's doing that.
That's the reason it's doing that. It's the reason it's no longer telling you to or from is because we're beside it. And when we're beside it, it doesn't know whether 180 will take you towards or away from.
Okay.
It's got to get further away from the VOR for that to mean anything.
Okay.
But as we track further away, then this should go to from.
And this will start to go here?
Only if you go over and catch it.
You want me to catch it?
If you parallel the course, you're never going to move it.
Do you want me to catch it?
Yes. So about 210.
Okay.
So we're drifting ever so slightly to the east. So if you took that VOR and could paint a line due south over the ground, it would come out pretty near Person County Airport.
Okay.
And we're not far off of it. We're just not on top of it.
All right. Well, let me try to get in line with it.
So about 210 on the heading, about 30-degree angle. And give it a chance.
Okay.
Now this says we're actually tracking 220, 219, that's okay. What we want to do is fly back over and get on the highway. It's like we didn't turn, we're in town and we were supposed to go on Main Street and we went past it.
45 to the downwind, runway 23.
But don't keep turning. If you keep turning, you're just chasing your tail.
Okay.
You've got to hold the heading as steady as you can hold it and then look at the data and decide whether it's working or not working. Because I can literally fly around in a circle up here and this will never move.
What does the GS stand for?
RNAV runway 20, downward traffic.
So when you're thinking about this, one of two things will happen. Either you'll use it to locate yourself, or you'll tell it what you want to do, and it will give you an idea of how to do it.
Okay.
So the 2 indicator is usually where I'm trying to locate me. And if I get a 2 indicator, I can fly that heading. I will eventually, within some kind of range, get to the VOR. Might take a while. So I tune in Liberty VOR, it's 60 miles away, it's going to take a while.
So it's starting to get back to the middle.
Okay, so as it starts to bounce in the middle, then I would, and it looks like you've already turned back to 180, so that's what should give you about the right number.
Yeah.
Now, if for any reason it's not giving, you now keep flying, does the needle gradually go this way, which tells me 180 is not the right wind correction. If it's staying pretty still, then 180 is a good number. If it went the other way, then maybe 170 would be a better number. And what I want to do is keep making that slice smaller and smaller till I figure a number that's working.
Okay.
So if it drifts out to the right again, instead of going 30 degrees,
it's just kind of...
or I might go 30, and then once it centers, I might come back instead of 180, I might go to 190.
Blue Ridge traffic, Arch 471, Tango Alpha 10 from the southwest, inbound for runway 31, Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge traffic, Arch 471, Tango off 5 miles from the southwest, inbound left downwind runway 31, Blue Ridge.
Alternator still working.
Yep. And good for you for checking. It's one of those things I don't harp enough on for my students, is to check that whole panel for, every 10 or 15 minutes.
Traffic Cessna 69012 passing 5 miles west of the airport, passing southwest, southeast at 3400.
But that's also what makes it so frustrating, is that if it ain't broke, it's hard to find the problem.
Yeah. Which is why replacing it seems to be the only option.
But then I also, if I'm replacing one that's not broken at all and it's something else, now I'm going to throw $1,000, $1,200 at something only to find out that wasn't a problem.
Yeah. No, I get that. We have that at work all the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's software, not hardware.
Yeah, you know, when people talk about replacing the computers every 2 or 3 years, 4 years max. I got 2 computers that are over 10 years old, still clicking along really nice.
I do too.
Except for the fact that they no longer support the software.
Exactly.
And you'd almost think that somebody could make a living out of doing add-ons to the software to keep it up to date.
Yeah, but most of the time it's not the software, it's the operating system that can't be working with the processor. The processor is too slow to deal with the robust operating system. And there's a mismatch.
And when you say operating system, if you don't change the operating system, then what?
You shouldn't have to change it unless you're working with third-party software that says you have to.
Right. Which is what I run into with New York Life.
Exactly.
Is they want to make their software really robust, and you can't run it on the old.
Even web browsers will update, and that will create an issue where you have to update your operating system. Now we're getting back into that bumpy rather.
All that hot air coming out of Roxborough.
Don't you live there?
I live out in the country.
Well, so what's the town?
There's the town in front of you.
I know, but what's the name of the town you live in?
It's a good place.
It's what?
All in all, Roxborough is a good place.
Okay.
It's somewhat
probably too conservative for your...
Basically, I was trying to think of a good way to say that.
You're a Chapel Hill person. You should be in Chapel Hill.
Well, I don't know about that. I hear some of the stories down there a little too liberal for my way of thinking.
The pendulum swings both ways.
It does.
No, seriously, my altitude hasn't changed by maybe 10...
Yeah, you're doing great there.
No, but my point is, why all of a sudden we're getting to turbulence?
Oh, if you've noticed, the clouds have changed some.
Okay.
So we're probably on the edge of a system. Especially if you look that way and then look back this way.
Right.
You'll notice that we're under a kind of a band of clouds. That way is pretty clear. This way it's bad, but there's this band of clouds in the middle. And that's probably where 2 systems are butting into each other.
Okay. Because when we took off, it was rough. And then it got smooth when we flew away from the airport. And now it's back.
Maybe Virginia's just calmer.
Maybe it's...
I tell you, when I go out to Colorado, you can almost set your clock by the state line as to where the turbulence starts.
Well, that's mostly because of the mountains. What you think?
Cross the Colorado state line and you're going to hit turbulence pretty quickly. Which is, I'm sure, generated by air coming across the front range.
Yeah.
Occasionally I go out there and it's smooth, but more often than not, this is mild.
So you have to go to Burlington to pick up the plane and then fly to Florida?
Yep.
Why is it always Burlington? Why don't they?
Because that's where it's based.
Oh, that's the same. It's the same company.
I'm flying for the same company, which is Sky South.
Right. But
they're contracting to haul these test samples.
Okay.
Blue Ridge, Traffic Dr. 471, taking off left downwind, runway 31, Blue Ridge.
And what I found, I didn't notice it so much when I was learning.
Blue Ridge, Traffic Dr. 471, departing the area to the southeast, switching to approach frequency.
What I You know, when I was learning, these bumps felt like I was just hitting boulders in the highway.
Uh-huh.
When I started doing instruments and only could look at the gauges, I realized that the plane really not moving around very much.
Interesting.
It's not going up and down by 100 feet or 200 feet when you hit these bumps. It's staying pretty calm.
Yeah.
Just rocking and tiny bit of jolting. Kind of like going down a dirt road with potholes in it.
Yeah. Certainly not fun, especially for someone who...
All right, so what I want you to do, let go of the yoke and use your feet. Keep it going straight with your feet. Don't let it turn. Don't let the wind upset you. Just use your feet. And notice this is still bouncing around, but it's from, and it's somewhat centered. It's not near as stable as it ought to be. Right down there is the airport.
Yep. You want me to turn a little bit?
All right, you can grab the yoke again.
Okay. I don't
And
want to...
just keep the wings, basically don't move any of your controls. Just hold everything steady as you can hold it.
So you want me to overfly the field almost?
Yes.
Okay. Shouldn't I say something?
Well, we're at 3,000, so we're well above traffic patterns.
Okay.
If you want to say something, you can. If you heard Kenneth out here, I'd say something, because he plays between 2,000 and 4,000 feet.
Okay.
But he ain't out here today.
All right. So don't say anything.
So without moving the controls at all, what you're finding is that the plane is still staying pretty much where you want it.
Yeah, well, with my feet.
Well, if you don't use your feet at all, it's going to still do that.
Okay. You don't want me to use my feet either?
No, no feet either.
Okay. It's almost like autopilot.
Almost. If you're going long distances, there's a lot of times, especially if it's calmer. Now, if you see it beginning to turn a little bit, then we'll just ease it back down. But
Okay.
in general, how little I'm fighting, or you're fighting the airplane.
Right. Oh, no, I was shocked, actually.
Most people, you know, when they're learning to fly, their mindset, probably because of watching movies, is if I don't do this perfectly, this airplane's going to scream into the ground.
We've talked about it falling out of the sky, that I'm kind of beyond that. I thought that...
And the more you fly, especially in the bumps, the more you'll get comfortable. Wait till you get in the clouds in the bumps. It'll make you uncomfortable again. And then the more you are pretty much convinced that the plane A isn't going to go screaming out of control, and B, I can just ease it to where I want it to be, then the more comfortable I get in the bumps and the clouds. Until you get into a new airplane, and then it starts all over again.
Yeah.
All right, you can go back to flying.
Or where are we going?
And what we want to do is go out a little ways and drop down, and then come back in and do a few landings.
Okay.
So any questions about the VOR?
No, I feel better about it. I definitely need to review stuff that we've talked about. Hopefully the video today will help me with that. You know, it's not something that's going to stick
right,
unless you do it a lot.
That's correct, absolutely.
And since it's kind of a technology that's going out of fashion,
unfortunately or fortunately, that is the answer.
and obviously from my check ride, if he asks the question to do it.
Well, I mean, you got the equipment to do it, and the regs say if it's in the airplane, you're supposed to know how to use it.
Okay.
All right, so you can get us coming downhill. We're out about 4 miles now. And we want to get down to 1600 before we get back to the airport. So now I would make a call. I'd say Person County, we're 4 miles south inbound for runway 24.
Okay. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is 5 miles south, inbound to land, runway 24, Person County.
And then maneuver your plane so that we set up for the downwind. Hadn't heard anybody call Person County. I don't see anybody. Remember, people using 24 would be coming from over there somewhere.
Yep.
And think about your arcing over the ground, how much distance it's going to take, how you're going to make it work. If you end up right over top of the airport, or if you end up too low or too high, you got problems. You got a lot going on. You need to be thinking.
Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is downwind for runway 24, Person County.
And personal traffic will be 101 past 1900 and turning on to 11.
Does this look normal to you?
It does not, but I'm going to fix it. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning base for runway 24, Person County. No, snap. Okay. So I missed the runway. I'm at pattern altitude or below. I need to just do it all over again. Would you agree? Or you want to talk to me?
I want to see what you're going to do.
Okay.
I'm just a passenger, lonely soul in the night. You're the man.
Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is going around. Going to line up for runway 24, Person County.
So we're now technically on what's called upwind, unbeknownst to some of those folks out of Raleigh.
But that's where I would be if I was going around.
Or on the center line.
Okay, so should I say upwind? I should
if
do.
there were traffic out here, I'd be a little more concerned. The fact that far as we're aware, there's nobody else out here. However, I still can't get it to connect, so.
Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is crosswind for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is downwind for runway 24, Person County.
There's one of those short-wing GMCs taxiing up the taxiway.
How come? He's supposed to be aware of me, right?
Well, considering he's on the taxiway, I don't think it's much of an issue.
Right. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning base for runway 24, Person County.
Right foot as you roll out.
Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning final for runway 24, Person County.
Regional traffic on Copper 20180, 6 miles to the west. Be laying at Whistles Farms, approximately 4 miles to the west of the field. Roger, regional traffic.
right, go again.
Okay. Sorry about that mishap.
Some people just have a little more trouble thinking three-dimensionally.
I thought I knew where I was. I think the wind pushed me more than I thought.
Remember, we used our feet a lot upstairs? We were flying along into bumps.
Yeah?
Don't forget that lesson.
Okay.
You're whipping on the yoke. You ought to be tap dancing on your toes.
Okay.
Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning downwind for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning base for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning final for runway 24, Person County.
right, let's go again.
No center line. I'm sorry about that, but at least I saved it.
You made a good landing. You did correct for it when it. You heard that chirper come on a little bit high. You corrected for that. Obviously, you could use a touch of power if you needed it then.
Yeah.
But you got to put the whole package together consistently. Not, you know, the balloon up a little bit wasn't the issue. On their check ride, he would have thought, well, that's pretty good. What was been the issue was when we landed quarter
Somebody out there.
across the runway. I think that's that helicopter that just called in. Good eyes, though. Like that. And Person County 2 Echo Romeo just took off out of Person, and we'll be staying in the traffic pattern of the helicopter in sight. Actually, it may be Papa Kilo that Echo Romeo sees. We're turning crosswind for runway 24.
Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning downwind for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic, 747 Papa Kilo is turning for left downwind, 24. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning base for runway 24, Person County.
Right foot, good. I felt it about time I said something.
Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning final for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic, 7 Papa Kilo turning left base for 24.
Not great, but good. You're on the center line, nose wheel is up. Got the stall buzzer on.
One more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay.
Kind of checked off all the boxes there. That's pretty good.
Okay. I'll take it.
Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is on the go, remaining in the pattern.
Do you know who that tail wheel was?
Yep. That's Bill Weber.
Okay. I was trying to figure out why he was where he was.
Because he keeps his plane in that big hangar down there.
Got it.
Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is downwind for runway 24, Person County.
Makes sense, I ran out of battery. It got really loud. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, usually when mine quits, it pops really loud. Then it doesn't do a good job of sound deadening.
Person County traffic, for about 2 hours, turning left downwind, 24. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning base for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is turning final for runway 24, Person County. Taxi 1 for Echo, holding short for lane traffic, Person County.
Watch your speed. Got a white arc there that's a limitation. All right, see if we can get it on and so we can turn in at that center field taxiway without sliding the tires. Work it. Or it goes sideways because the wings aren't level or the wind blows you, one of the two. But you did good. A little break will make this turn. Without even sliding the tires. No black marks.
You remembered last one. It's like, no!
Traffic, Gusty 1 Strike O, departing runway 24 north departure, Person County. Person County traffic, 2 Echo Romeo is clear of runway 24, Person County.
Person County traffic, 7 Papa Kilo on final.
All right, clean her up, please.